So every year around this time of year, I hop on Instagram and the YouTube community page and I ask you guys what your best book of the year has been. This year is no different. In fact, it is different because I need your best books more than ever. So today, I am going to be reading the most popular books that you guys mentioned as being your favourite books of the year. I'm in need of some great books. I'm in need of a 5-star. If I don't get a 5-star in this video, I'm going to be disappointed. I need 5-star energy so badly. I can't tell you how much I need it in every fibre of my being.
Oh, you know what, darling? Give us a break, we're doing all we can.
I need a 5-star, so we're going to be reading your favourite books of the year so far, and let me tell you, it's an interesting selection. I think we've got a really good selection of books here, so shall we just go find out what books we're going to be reading? Okay, I'm here at my desk in front of my spreadsheet. I've written down every single book that anyone said. Do you want me to tell you how many books that is? Do you want me to tell you how many books I sat here for hours and typed up into this spreadsheet?
That's what you said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.
For books I haven't read, there are 314. For books I have read, there is another 78. So we're looking at almost 400 books that I typed down and wrote down every single one, but we're going to be reading the most popular. I'll quickly tell you the books I have read, what the most popular were. We had The Thursday Murder Club by Rich Osman with 9, The Tainted Cup, which is interesting, by Robert Jackson Bennett with 8, Shark Heart by Emily Beck with 7, and then both with 6 we had Tress of the Emerald Sea, which I think I read for this video last year, and Bright Young Women. So that's a great, I mean, they were all like top books for me. 4 out of 5 of those are 5 stars for me, so we're pretty much in agreement. But shall we get into the books that I haven't read that I'm going to be reading for this video? I'm going to start up the top with the one that most people said, and 10 people said that this was their favourite book of the year, and it is The Will of the Many by James Islington, which if you've been around here for a while, this was in last year's video, and I soft DNF'd it because I didn't feel like I could hack it.
What are you doing?
What are you doing here?
You alright?
Yeah.
How are you?
Alright, thanks, you.
Good. What are you shopping for?
Oh, I'm just got my shopping and everything. I'm cooking a big dinner on Sunday.
Can I hack it now when I'm seemingly struggling with fantasy? We shall see. I'm going to start with this because I want to give myself time to read it and time to get into it. I mean, it's so long. Let's not talk about this. It's so long. I want to give myself time. I can't remember. I'm going to go back to that video and see how far in I got. I think I got maybe 100 pages, but I'm looking forward to this. The fact that this has been on 2 consecutive Best Books of the Year videos is absolutely insane. So it's time that I listen to you guys. This is a fantastical book. At Elite Catinian Academy, a young fugitive uncovers layered mysteries and world-changing secrets in this new fantasy series by James Islington. I'm excited. I'm excited to give this another go. I'm going to give myself time with it. I'm going to take it slowly, but I'm very much looking forward to it. So that's our first book. Next book that 8 people said was The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I've got a bit of a bad copy. I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, you can see it there. Can you see how the shine is misprinted? Maybe I should have like tried to get a refund or something. I just don't have the time. It's not that big a deal, but I have a misprint. So if I'm ever holding it up and it looks weird, that's why. Let's just talk about the length of these 2 books. Both over 600 pages. Are you trying to kill me? Are you trying to kill me? Are you trying to kill me?
Die!
But this one, I have heard such wonderful things about. I've wanted to read this for a really, really long time. Following a trivial scuffle with a white boy, 12-year-old Robert Stevens Jr. is sent to the Gracetown School for Boys, but the segregated reformatory is a chamber of horrors haunted by the boys that have died there. I know that a lot of my patrons have read this year and said it's one of their favourite books, so I'm very much looking forward, and it's my first Tananarive Due, and I've never read anything from her, and I'm very excited to do so, because I know she's kind of like a classic author that a lot of people really enjoy, so I'm very excited for that. And then the next 2 books, 7 people said, and you'll be glad to know they're shorter. So 7 people said both of these. First, we've got a very short one, I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. I'm very excited for this one. This is probably the one out of all of these I'm most excited for, because I feel like I've heard a lot of people really enjoy this from different places. People who typically read very different genres or different types of books, I've heard them all really enjoy it. This one is about 39 women who live imprisoned in a cage, and then I think there's a young girl who's born into them or appears in them, and she wants to escape. They basically have like no memory outside of the life of them being imprisoned. And I'm very much looking forward to getting to this one. I feel like this could be my favourite, if I had to predict. And then, this one I know a lot of people have enjoyed, and it's horror, and horror does typically have a lower rating, but these all have much higher ratings. These are all like 4 point something. This one's got a 3.7 average rating or something. But I have heard a lot of people who really enjoyed it, and it is We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cluel. I can't pronounce anything, guys. Cluea? That might be wrong. Anyways, I don't really know what this is about. It's a debut horror. Young couple Charlie and Eve can't believe the killer deal they got in their house. Old man locks the door, claims to have lived there. Wants to show his family around, she lets them in. As soon as they enter, strange things starts to happen. Interesting. I'm very excited for this one too. So, these are the 4 books we're going to be reading this vlog that are your best books of the year. Like I said, I think I'm going to start with The Will of the Many. I'm feeling scared about this one, right? Like, I want to tackle it because I'm feeling intimidated by it. So, it's like 2:30 now. I've got a little bit more work to do, but then all I'm going to be doing this afternoon and evening is making a start on this. So, hopefully, we'll get quite a ways in. But, yeah, I'm going to give it some time. I'm going to let myself get through it. You guys, it must be special. It must be special for so many of you who've enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. Thank you to everyone who let me know your favourite books. I want to read all of them. I want to read all the best books. I need 5 stars. So I'm hoping we're going to get a 5-star in this stack. So let's start our first book and see how it goes. So I am reading The Will of the Many, our first book, but I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, which you saw me using in the last clip, which is my Serious Light from Serious Readers. If you're a regular here, you know I love this bad boy. I use it every single day when reading. It is essential to me when reading. So if you haven't heard before, this uses something called daylight wavelength technology that replicates the daylight spectrum as closely as possible, which means it is completely natural on the eyes. I can't explain it truthfully well enough to someone who hasn't used it, but it doesn't feel abrasive like other lights. Like, I've got my ring light on me right now, for example, and it's hurting my eyes a little bit. The ring light hurts my eyes. This doesn't. The light that this emits is so natural to us, right? I absolutely adore it. So it lights the page so well. I find I read quicker, I read easier when I use it. I haven't had eye strain since I had this, and I used to get eye strain pretty bad because I do a lot of reading, a lot of looking at tiny words on a page, and I haven't had eye strain since using this. I absolutely adore it, and I have a code which is MWB24, which will get you £100 off a high definition light, which is the model that I have. I cannot recommend it enough. We're coming up to holiday season. If you want a big bookish accessory, I really recommend this. You could ask for someone else to get it for you. My code also includes free UK delivery, but they can deliver anywhere. They can fit it with any plug that you need. If you need a US plug, an EU plug, they can do that. But my code specifically is £100 off and free UK delivery. If you want it as a Christmas present, get on it now. Send this to your family because I just think it is invaluable. I love it so much. I use it every time I'm reading. I have the rechargeable one that you can move around, so I often move it to my desk when I'm reading over there on reading sprints. I love it so much. So check out the link down below. Consider using my code to get £100. £100 is a great deal. £100 off. And yeah, go check it out because it's one of my favourite things ever. Hello! How are we all doing? I'm enjoying reading. Guys. Oh, how are we all doing? I am 200 pages into The Will of the Many, which I believe is further than I got last time. I think, based on like what I remember, I think I got like 140, 150 pages into it last time, and I'm enjoying this. I remember it feeling like a real struggle to get through, but it hasn't. So maybe the trick is, if you're struggling with this, put it down and pick it back up a year later and you'll understand it.
I've connected the 2 dots.
You didn't connect shit, but
I've connected them.
So I'm 200 pages in now. I don't know if I can give a very good synopsis of this. I don't know what's a spoiler. I think that what I want to tell you is a little bit of a spoiler. So you're following a guy who is an orphan, and you know that he's got a secret and he's kind of trying to masquerade who he is. And you're set in this society that there's like it's kind of like, oh, how do I explain this? Maybe like Greek or Latin inspired, where there's this republic where there's like tiers of officer or tiers of like rank, and those tiers all get will, which is like energy or magic, from people below them. They all have people below them, and he gets adopted by quite a senior guy in this system, and he wants to put him into the academy to have him be his son, have his legacy, train him, get him to win. Is there a competition? Oh no, he wants him to find answers for something that he thinks is sus about the academy. We haven't gone to the academy yet in the first 200 pages. I'm just really enjoying it. Now, is it going to be a 5-star? Unsure. It feels a little bit intelligent for that for me. I don't know. It doesn't have I think it's a little bit more brutal. This style of fantasy isn't usually my style of fantasy. It's a bit more masculine energy. I'm usually in my feminine energy when it comes to fantasy. Like, I love lyrical, lush, beautiful, Catherine Arden, Erin Morgenstern, Leigh Bardugo, like, I don't know, women, essentially. Is
Women.
Whereas this is more like harsh and war and grrr, you know what I mean? That kind of energy. But I am really enjoying it. I've found it quite easy to get through these first 200 pages. Something just happened in the last 30 pages, which was Gaga Chandra. It was a great plot twist. It was great moving of the story along. I get the sense, I mean, this is a series. I don't know how long this series is going to be. Let me know if anyone knows. But I feel like there's going to be a lot of layers to it and quite intricate political intrigue and motivations and a lot of layers to decisions for stuff. And I think that's going to be a very, very interesting reading experience. Also, do we know when the second one is coming out yet? Do we know that? I don't know that. We're meeting a lot of characters, we're meeting a lot of situations that we're trying to understand, and there's like a lot of stuff that he knows that we're not necessarily privy to entirely yet, which is interesting. But I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I'm enjoying this, considering I struggled with it and had to soft DNF it. I know it wasn't a full DNF when I DNF'd it. It was that, like, it was too long and I just couldn't get into it, and like it was taking me too long to read. Whereas I think I have a good chance of reading most of the rest of this today. I've got reading sprints in about 2 hours, so I'm just going to read up till then, and then I'm going to read during the reading sprints. I'm going to definitely get to 400 pages today, so I'll check in with you probably once I've read another third of the book. But my aim is to try and get as close to finishing it as I possibly can. So that's the sitch, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I'm enjoying it, and I think it's got a lot of interesting elements to it. So I'll see you in a bit with more thoughts, but we're off to a good start with this video. I just want a 5-star. I don't think that's too much to ask for. I just really want a 5-star from this video so badly. So let's hope and pray.
We were all so happy that day. It's actually hard to even imagine how terrible things would soon become.
Who's that cat who I love? There's people out there. Hopefully they can't see us. Okay, let's talk, shall we, Dida? Let's talk. You go scare them off. I did not check in with you at 400 pages because, if I'm honest, I did not have a lot to say. Some people are about to be very mad at me. Some of you are about to be very mad at me. Some of my patrons are about to be very mad at me. I'm giving this 3.5. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the hype.
I don't feel regretful one moment about what I said. And believe me, if I really wanted to, I could be a lot meaner. But I'm holding back.
I don't get why this is the book that, like, most of you said last year and this year. I don't get it. You go on Goodreads, 5-star, 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 5-star. Everyone is giving this 5 stars. Everyone and their mum, is giving this 5 stars. I'm moving this, but it's going to mean you see the tunnel a bit. That's Dida's favourite thing in the world. It's her tunnel. We have a fishing line. I don't know if you can see it. We have a toy that we put in the arm of this chair so that it dangles into the hole. Anyways, I'm procrastinating from telling you about this book. Here's the thing. I can see, okay, this is a well-written book. It's a well-crafted book. I can see why you bitches like it, because it's like magical school feat Hunger Games. Okay? I was never a Hunger Games girl. And so that doesn't get me. The nostalgia does not get me like it gets some of you in its grasp. But I think the biggest problem is it's just not for me, right? My fantasy that I love is cutesy or lyrical or cozy or mysterious, like magical, witchy, like, you know, it's very feminine. This is it's hard fantasy, it's hard fantasy, and I just don't love that. I don't love it's hard. The Roman influences don't appeal to me as a reader. They don't. This is not my favorite kind of magic system, and I have a few issues. I mean, here's the thing, I enjoyed it, but it's too long. And I've been saying lately I like long books, but don't do it for the sake of it. This does not need to be the fucking head whopper it is. It's so long. I really struggled with the pacing in some elements. I just think you can cut it down. I felt similarly about Where Sleeping Girls Lie, which I read this month, I think, for my book club, my patron book club. And I think a lot of us agreed, like, you don't have to take any scenes out, but you could just trim the fat on everything. And that's how I personally feel about this book. Also, I'm just ripping it to shreds. I promise I did like it, but it was a 3.5. I'm ripping it to shreds because my expectations were so high because so many people have loved this, okay? Dida, I love you. I'm procrastinating. I have issues with how a lot of the death and destruction in this seems pointless. And they do say that at times. The character's like, oh, it's pointless. It's for that reason. But I'm like, why does it need to happen? I think for big events for like that to happen, where like a lot of people are dying or like there's huge ramifications for stuff, it has to feel worth it, or I have to understand why the adversaries are doing what they're doing. And I'm not entirely sure I always did beyond like a surface level explanation. I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm not sure I ever fully got reasons for particular events happening. And our main guy, firstly, he's 17. I'm sorry, that man is at least 25. That is an adult. He does not act like a 17. None of them act like 17-year-olds. None of them act like 17-year-olds.
What are you, 40? We're the same age.
I know I'm a sucker for like Six of Crows and like they're all old and I just excuse it. When I love it, I excuse it. But this man is old as hell and he is good at everything. There's no stakes because he will win. Spoiler, he will win. He will be the best at everything that he tries to do. And for why? Like, yeah, he does have a past, like the others don't know, but I don't think that past means he's gonna be fucking like Superman out here. He is amazing at everything. And I just don't think that interests me. I need my protagonist to fail sometimes, and he didn't really. He was just great at everything he tried to be at. So, you know, I'm unsure as to whether I'm going to continue the series. I keep saying that. The past 3 books I've read have all been starts in the series, and I've given them all 3.5. Where, like, I've enjoyed them well enough, but I have problems, and I just don't know if I want to pick up. I don't know. I haven't made a decision on any of them yet. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are reading, if I'm honest with you. It's fine. It's not the best book I've ever read. It's not the best fantasy book I've ever read.
You may not hold the space for me, and that's okay. But that's a hill I'm gonna fucking die on.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna move on. That book took me way too much of my life reading. I've spent so long reading that book. So long reading that book. So now I want something quick and fun. So I'm gonna pick up the horror that we've got. We Used to Live Here, because I think this will be fast-paced, like, you know, popcorny. I'm really excited for the reformatory, but it's 600 pages again, and I'm nervous for that. So maybe we'll read the other 2 books first, and then we'll read that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to picking this up and seeing what everyone thinks of it. It seems a little bit mixed media-y, so I'm really excited. I'm really excited to pick this up. This began life as a serialized short story on Reddit, where it won the Scariest Story of 2021 award on the No Sleep forum, 18 million members. Film rights have been snapped up for Netflix. Interesting. Okay, exciting. I'm gonna start this. I'll check with you halfway through. Dida might tell you something too about her life, how much she likes beating up the boys. She loves grabbing a chunk of their flesh in between her teeth. You can't tear her off. Anyways, I'm gonna go read this. It won't take me as long as it took to read that. Dear God, fingers crossed. Hello cuties, I'm back in my work from home uniform. I know I probably wear this a lot, but I do wear this a lot. Sometimes I wash this twice a week so I can wear it a lot, this set. It's like a matching joggers as well. And it's like my favourite thing to wear if I'm reading or working at home, because it's not pyjamas, obvi, but it's like I feel put together, but it's comfortable. Anyways, also please admire this chair that the cats have absolutely ruined.
I'm ready to cause absolute havoc.
I am just under halfway, about halfway through We Used to Live Here. I am about 140 pages in and I'm enjoying it. It's exactly what I needed. God, I feel like I've read half a book in the time it took me to read 2 pages of all of the many. It's a very quick read, which is exactly what I needed. Well, the audiobook is 10 hours long, which I think is like an average book, right? A short book I would say is like 7 hours. I think I Have Never Known Men is 6 hours. An Agatha Christie audiobook is usually 7 hours. I think 10 to 12 is like a typical audiobook. One of the many was 24. The other week I read Wolf Hall that was 24. I read Pachinko that was like 20. Reformatory is 20. Why am I reading so many like 600-page books in November? And at the end of October and November. Like, I have had to read like 4 or 5 600-page books.
The most hideous experience for me to go through. How horrible and shit.
Just pray for me. I'm very excited for the Goodreads video because I'm just going to be reading like super quick, yummy books. Anyways, I'm about halfway through We Still Live Here. This is very, very interesting and fun. I'm enjoying it. You know, I'll tell you right off the bat, it doesn't feel like a 5-star right now. I'm constantly on the lookout for a 5-star. At the moment, it feels like a very strong 4. So we're following a young couple called Charlie and Evie who have just moved into this house that they are redoing up together. And a family knock on the door and they say, the dad used to live here. Can we come and look around? And at the time, Evie's home alone. And so she calls Charlie, but she can't get a hold of her. And she's like, okay, yeah, you can come in. But she's very anxious. And they end up having to stay the night. In the description, it does say Charlie suddenly vanishes. So it's the next morning, Evie wakes up, Charlie's not there. And what I think is very interesting about this book is that the horror in this first half has all been stuff that can be very easily explained away. You know, Evie's very, is it Eve or Evie? Eve is very anxious and, you know, has like spiraling thought patterns, which I can very much relate to and identify with. Some of it I think this could set me off, perhaps, because I do the same thing of like over worrying and stuff. She's very anxious, and so there's certain things that like could be explained away as her overthinking things, but also there's so many things happening like that it is a very unsettling reading experience. And guys, let me tell you, it's mixed media.
We did it!
Yes! We've won!
Yes! Yes! Gosh, we won! I can't believe it!
In between chapters, we have these very short mixed media little interludes of like a newspaper report or a police report or like a Reddit forum comments. And I'm loving them. I love it. Why do I keep looking outside while I'm talking? I'm so sorry. Let me look you in the eyes. It's just like a nice winter's day. And I'm not going outside, which we'll talk about in a second. We need to talk about what's going on. I love mixed media. I love it. And at the end of each of them, there's a little Morse code that is making a sentence. You could very easily miss that, but I'm picking up, I'm looking up what the Morse code is. I'm translating, I'm deducing, I'm Nancy Drew out here.
Wait a minute. I'm figuring this out. I'm like Scooby and Shaggy. I'm solving a mystery.
So I'm loving that aspect of it. It's a very quick read. I don't know if it's, I mean, it could be 5-star. I'm not gonna, I'm just holding out hope that one day I will read a 5-star book again. If that's not too much to ask. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. The writing's inoffensive. I think the writing is actually pretty good for a debut. We've got interesting characters. It does feel, I think, because I've been reading a lot of long books, it feels like, holy shit, like, we're halfway through. How's this gonna go? Like, oh my god, we've just gotten started. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Now, I think I'm getting sick. Tom has been sick this entire week. I've been nursing him back to health. I've been very good. I've been nursing him back to health this entire week. And I thought I'd escaped it, but I'm getting a really sore throat. And he's been very ill, and it started with a sore throat. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. So I may be spending the rest of this vlog sick. And you know what? I can still read if I'm sick. So I'll probably keep on vlogging. So you'll just have to live with me being sick. We'll all just have to endure that. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Anyways, we'll see. I'm touching wood that I'm gonna not have it as bad as he's had it. But I'm gonna go finish this now. I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding it very, very interesting, and it's just an easy read. I've never showed, guys, come look at this photo of me. Do you wanna see young Megan? Do you wanna see how cute I am? Look how cute I am. Look. And they're my toys that I made be in the picture. Look at Megan. Don't know why I showed you that. Anyways, I'm gonna go read this book, and I'll see ya. And hopefully I'm not feeling too ill at that point.
Don't say that. Mona, don't ever say that.
Hello. I'm very ill. Also, there's no light going on. Let me open this up again and try not to get blinded. Is that okay? I don't really think you need to see me, if I'm honest. I thought I wanted to film this because I can read. If I can do anything, I can read. And so I thought I'd try and film this clip. I just washed my hair to try and feel more human. I don't know how well that's going for me. But anyway, so let's just talk about the books, because I don't know how long I've got in me. I finished We Used to Live Here. When did I finish this? Yesterday morning. I ended up being a bit disappointed by the ending of it. Not disappointed, disappointed is the right word. I feel like it could have done more. I've been thinking about this, and I have a few conflicting thoughts. I'm going to try my best to piece together for you. Also, I'm going to try and do this without spoiling anything, but I guess this is vaguely spoilery for the nature of the ending of this book, right? I will just warn you now to not listen to this clip if you care about that. I love murder mysteries because a murder occurs, someone investigates it, and then justice is brought. Or not even justice, because actually I don't mind murder mysteries where like the killer gets away with it, but answers are given. You get answers. You find a question is asked you, and you get answers. This ending felt like there were a lot of answers that were just out of grasp. I also love endings, just to clarify, that are open. I love an open ending. I love a last minute twist. I love like a last sentence twist. You know, look at Catherine House, for example. I mean, everyone fucking hates that book. I love that book, and I love the ending of that. I love how you really don't know what's happened. I don't think this is an open ending. I just think this is an ending where I'm lacking answers. And I feel like they're just there. There's quite a few, I feel like almost plot holes, or just like convenience things that aren't explained, that if they were explained would cause issues, that I had an issue with it. It reminds me a lot of House of Leaves. If you enjoyed, it's like House of Leaves light, right? House of Leaves is incredibly intense. This is like a novel with some cute little like Morse code and little clue stuff and little sentence things in there.
Don't shorten your dress. They would never
to me.
They would never make you walk in a dress
on my
that
level,
much
Nicole.
longer.
You never will be on my level. Do not compare yourself to me.
It's like House of Leaves light. So if you're too intimidated as House of Leaves but want something similar, I guess this is what I'd recommend. But it just felt a little bit like you could have done more with that. With the way it ended, I was like, really? Okay, it felt a little bit cop-out-y. It felt a little bit, I guess it's a debut, and it felt a little bit like you could do more with that. You know, that's my overriding feeling. So it's a 3.5 again, say it with me. The last 4 books I've given have all been 3.5s. I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it, quite frankly. I think there's so much promise for this, but I just didn't feel like the execution really grabbed me, if I'm honest with you. There's probably more I could say, but I'm overheating and feeling cold at the same time, so I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna try and read as much of the Reformatory as I can today, despite feeling unwell. I mean, I may read nothing, if I'm entirely honest with you, but I really should try. I'll probably get halfway through this before I check in with you, because the more reading I can do without talking, the better. So, yeah, that's the aim today, is to at least start reading this and give it a go. I just want a good rating. I just want 5 stars. I actually think there's something wrong with me, and like, not wrong with me, I just think I've actually read too many books. I'm too picky. I just want 5 stars so badly. And these books should be it, you know? Because everyone's bloody loved them. Anyways, this one I have high hopes for. So I'm going to start it, get halfway through. Hopefully when I next talk to you I'm feeling better. I'm just going to rest. I just really, every day I'm in a delusion I'm going to feel better. I slept so badly last night. I barely slept. Fuck Tom for giving me this illness. And he's still ill a week in. And I'm on day 3, if we're being generous. 3. So, yeah, more like 2, really. Anyways, I'm gonna go, and hopefully the Reformatory will be more successful. Hello friends, I'm still not feeling great. I'm feeling better, we're getting there. I'm still feeling great, but I am feeling great about this book. I am halfway through, 300 pages in, and I'm loving it. Well, I don't want to say I'm loving it because it is horrific, but I think it's magnificent. I think it's marvellous. I think it's amazing. I'm just obsessed with it. So all you need to know is that Robert Stevens Jr., who's a young boy, gets into a scuffle with a white boy when defending his sister. And we are in Florida in the 1950s, and Robert is black and his sister is black, and it's a very racist town that they live in, and he gets sent for kicking a boy, who pushed him first, by the way, for kicking a boy, to this place called the Reformatory for 6 months, which is horrific. And there may be ghosts there, and they abuse the boys terribly there, and we're following basically dual timeline, which we'll get into maybe, of him at the reformatory, and there's also his sister and their kind of family and family friends trying to get him out of there. And I'm loving it. I think Tananarive-Dew's writing is absolutely incredible. I don't feel like I've read 300 pages. I mean, part of that might be down to that dual timeline, which I'm not disliking, because they're kind of set at a parallel time, and I feel like their discussions really inform each other, so they're moving parallel. I think I often don't like when it's like jumping around in time with split timelines. I think I like, you know, they feel very close to one another, feel very entwined, so I don't have an issue with that. It might be why though it doesn't feel like I've read 300 pages, because we have kind of read the 150 pages of each storyline. But yeah, I just think these characters I feel so connected to. The writing is wonderful. It's very hard what it's being writing about, and obviously the horror is kind of based in reality and is also drawing the supernatural elements are really reflections of things that happen in reality. So it's just, guys, it's just fascinating. I am just being taken along for the ride. I think yeah, it's obviously, if you ask me what's happened, not a lot has happened, but I don't care. I mean, I don't know if I'm giving you very good thoughts because I feel shit still, but there's just something about the way this is written that I just feels very accomplished. You are dealing with a writer who has written a lot of books. This is my first ever one, and knows what she is doing, and you know, there's moments of it that are so horrific, and you want to look away from almost, but like it forces you to look, and I just think it's wonderful. Also, I think the audiobook narrator is very good. I think I've listened to this audiobook narrator a lot, but particularly for YA. I think because just in general, YA is a more diverse genre. I was looking through her catalogue, she's done a lot of YA stuff. Like YA black fantasy or something like that. So her voice I do almost associate with that, but it's okay because even though this is an adult book, we're following two main young characters, and so I think it gives the book a bit of like naivety and innocence that I think is a very interesting reading experience. So I'm planning on finishes today. Hopefully I'll have more. I know my thoughts aren't the best right now. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I hope I'll have more like thoughts at the end, but it's just that kind of book where I'm like 10 out of 10 no notes, you know? I'm loving it. I don't know what else to say to you. Sometimes I find it easier to talk about books I have problems with. I don't have any problems with this. I think it's wonderful. So I'm going to go keep reading today. I honestly don't want to do anything else. I just want to sack off everything else I'm supposed to do and read this book because I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So I'll see you hopefully later today having finished it, but I feel like maybe we finally got a 5-star on our hands. I don't want to speak too soon, but I feel like maybe it's time. Oh my goodness. This is a 10 out of 10 no notes book. I've got a 5-star. I knew you guys wouldn't let me down. We've got a 5-star.
At the end of the day, all I want to say is thank you, Lady Gaga.
This book, oh my goodness, it is a literary masterpiece. I cannot wait to read more from Tananarive-Dew, but this book just feels, I mean, I don't know if she's just this amazing across the board, but this book, there is just so much of her in this, firstly, you can tell, especially from the author's notes. So much of this is based on family lineage and characters based on family members, and you can just feel like the person, she's poured so much of her person into this book. It's absolutely incredible. It is, like I was saying, absolutely horrific. It's visceral. It's like to your core horrific. And in some ways it's not a horror because it's just like, it's real. It's not like there's a few supernatural elements, but it's not like a, you know, it's not supernatural horror in a lot of way a lot of horrors are. This is just real. This happened. This happened throughout history, you know. I don't want to spoil too much, but like, children getting stolen away from their families and put in these schools and fill in the dots, you know, like it's horrific that this is real, you know. I just absolutely adored this. I loved the journey we went on with our characters. I felt like it was just perfectly, whoa, the sun is suddenly like crazily shining. You can't tell because I got the ring light on, so it doesn't look too different, but it's like, whoa, the angels are singing. It's amazing. The characters, the journey that we go on with them, the way she's infused history throughout it, the care that it feels like has been taken with this story. Guys, it is amazing. It's a book. It's a book. You know what I mean? I do struggle talking about books that I've loved so much. I'm just like, go read it. Like, it's just amazing. But yeah, like I said, this is my first Tananarive-Dew and I just can't wait to read more. I don't think you should be scared off by the size of this. I read it pretty quickly. It simultaneously feels literary, but also plot driven and twisty, and the last 60 pages of this, I was on the edge of my seat about to throw up. Like, it was tense. She'd spent all this time crafting a relationship with these characters for you, and you were just like, oh my god, it was stressing me out. Like, you were just rooting for them in this last part of the book, and everything seems against them, and everything is up against, and you're just rooting and rooting and rooting, and I won't tell you by the way it goes, but like, I didn't cry. That's the only thing. A lot of my patrons told me they cried at this. I didn't cry, but I loved it. I think it's incredible. My favourite character in this was probably Gloria, who's the sister. I just loved Gloria. And yeah, I mean, this is part horror, part reminder of what has happened in history and how we shouldn't let it go. And I loved it. You guys need to go read it. And it's now time for our final book of the vlog, final one of your favourite books, which was I Who Have Never Known Men. I don't know if I'm going to check in with you halfway through this or just read the whole thing. It's only about 180 pages. And so that's like on the border of whether I'd usually check in at like 90 pages or just read the whole thing through. I guess it depends how I'm feeling. Part of me wants to read the whole thing, but I feel like this book feels very monumental to me. This would have been my prediction for a 5-star going into this video, so maybe we still have 5-star potential. Oh, guys, I feel like I haven't done it. Give me time to think. There's nothing more to say other than it's incredible. Usually the time, I feel like I haven't spoken to him about it, but usually my time is taken up with critiques of books. Anyways, we're gonna go read this today. I'm literally just gonna go sit and read this book. So yeah, I'll either check in with you halfway or just finish the whole thing. But I'm really looking forward to picking this one up. I'm feeling like we've turned a corner. Now we've got a 5-star. The possibility is endless. I'm just gonna read 5 stars indefinitely from now. Well, until I have to read Frida McFadden next week. Let's not talk about that. Moving on.
You don't want to... Oh, are you alright?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, darling.
I'm gonna go read that book and I'm hopefully gonna love it. Fingers crossed. Good evening. It's later the same day and I have finished our final book of the vlog, I Who Have Never Known Men. And let me sum up my thoughts to you. My thoughts on this book are... It's good.
Definitely, I thought it was fun. I like the beat. So.
Here's the thing with this one. I can recognise why the girlies that love this. But I don't know if I'm that girly. If you haven't read this, basically 40 women are in this underground cave and they don't know how they ended up there. A lot of them had lives, remember their lives before this, but the narrator is a young girl who doesn't remember her life before this. And one day they escape above ground and that's all you really need to know. And it's about this girl's musings on humanity and womanhood and love and human relationships and etc, etc. And like, I can recognise this book is good. I can recognise this book is great, in fact. I can recognise it's really well written. I can recognise it's really interesting. I can recognise it's saying very philosophically interesting things. But like, you know, I look at on Goodreads, readers also enjoyed the books and authors I've read from before in here. Sally Rooney, Our Lives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield, Mona Awad, what else I read here? Bata by Asaka Yuzuki. These are all like, I feel like I've felt very similar about all of these books where like I can see why other people enjoy this, but it's just not for me. I'm giving it a 3.5. I didn't dislike, I liked it, but I'm not feeling the things I think a lot of you have felt from it. I'm sorry, I feel like she's a cold-hearted snake. I feel like I sound so negative all the time. I mean, 3.5 is a good rating, right? All of these, the 3 books in this vlog I've given a 3.5. I've enjoyed, but not enough to give a 4, which is something. Like 4 is like really good book, really good book. Would recommend, really good book. 3.5, 3 is like meh, fine. 3.5 is in between that, and that's how I feel about all of these books. I mean, you guys don't want to know what my average rating for the year has been, but let's just say it could be a smaller number. So yeah, I don't really have a ton of thoughts on this. Other than saying I can see what it's saying, I can see what it's saying is good, I can see why it's doing it well, I can see it's a good example of that, but like, I'm glad I didn't film a mid check-in. I thought this book would like, you know, have a real impact, and it didn't. You know, the ending I was like, huh, yeah, you did something there, babes, you did something there. That ending, you gobbled a little bit. Maybe tasted. You sampled the hors d'oeuvres, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I feel. I do also think, like, I think this was it's recently been published in English, I believe, but I think it was originally written in the 1990s, and I will say, I think it feels like it has a modern perspective. It feels like it has a modern look on things. And like, I probably think on the 90s that long ago. It's 30 years ago this was published. 30 years ago. And so I do think that's impressive. I think that, I mean, this is dystopian. It's set in the future, or maybe not that far future, but you know what I mean? It's set not now. And I think it has a modern outlook on things that is very, very interesting. I don't want to give too much away either. I feel like I'm struggling to talk about this without spoiling. It's hard to spoil stuff for this. But yeah, it was fun. So, reading your best books of the year, I have had 1 5-star and 3 3.5 stars. It's crazy that when you look at that list, hang on, let me get it up again, of books I have read that were your favourite books of the year, so many of them are 5 stars. The Thursday Murder Club by Rich Osman, Shark Heart, Trust the Emerald Sea, Bright Young Women, House of Cerulean Sea, Yours Truly by Abby Bennett. Like, so many of them are 5 stars for me, the most popular ones. But then I don't seem to get that when I then read the books I haven't read. Anyways, I do feel good. I didn't mention this, but I don't think to you guys. But 6 people said We Solve Murders by Rich Osman, which I shall be reading this week, and The Sword of Kaigen. And 5 people said The Spell Shop and Just for the Summer. And I think there's some possible 5 stars amongst there for me. Maybe I should have read some of them. Anyways, no. I thought I was going to love all these books. Alas. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of any of these books, because also got quite a lot of your favourites for a lot of you. But yeah, The Reformatory was by far my favourite. I'm now going to go start reading for the Goodreads Choice Awards. Thank God. I should have started this video ages ago, but I'm so excited. So I shall see you guys soon. I love you all very, very much. And yes, I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye!